You are Locked On Nuggets POSTCAST, powered by Mile High Sports, part of Locked On Sports Denver on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What is up, Nuggets Nation, and welcome on into your Locked On Nuggets POSTCAST. I am your host, Aniello Piro, and it is a victory show as the Denver Nuggets take care of business against the Charlotte Hornets. Your final score here on this Saturday night, 107-104. But boy, oh boy, was that a sweaty victory for the boys as they were down 4 late in the fourth quarter. It looked like Denver might actually blow this game before a couple, some clutch defense late, thankfully, a couple Nikola Jokic free throws, and away we go. As Denver gets the job done here on the road. And despite a pretty rough road trip, I don't think Nuggets fans feel pretty good about how this road trip went. They're going to come home, Denver is, with a 2-game winning streak. Obviously, they took care of business by the slimmest of margins last night against the Philadelphia 76ers. And then once again here tonight against the Charlotte Hornets. 2 different types of games, right? The game against Philadelphia, much higher scoring. The game here tonight, a bit, close contested, less than 110 points scored from both of these teams. So a win is a win. You love to see that. And we'll break it down for you here on your Locked On Nuggets POSTCAST. And today's episode of your Locked On Nuggets POSTCAST is brought to you by our friends over at Game Time. Download the Game Time app today, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off of your first purchase. So some news here first, a little bit of a different complexion tonight for the Denver Nuggets. No Russell Westbrook, no Peyton Watson. So you got Christian Brown back in the starting lineup there, and he did a good job. We'll spend a good amount of time on this show talking about CB. And a pretty short rotation tonight for Michael Malone. Only 3 players coming off the bench. And of those 3 players, only one of them has had consistent playing time this year. That, of course, being Julian Strawther, who played 24 minutes here tonight. Zeke Naji with some extended run, and Jalen Pickett with some extended run here tonight. So, again, no Russell Westbrook, no Peyton Watson. And despite that, Denver still figures out a way to get the victory here tonight as they improve to 30-19 on the season, 16-11 on the road. Charlotte, one of the worst teams in the NBA, which this would have been a crushing loss for Denver just because Charlotte's no good. They're 12-34, 8-18 on their home court. And Denver now improves to, I believe, 9-1 on the second night of a back-to-back throughout the course of this season, which is sensational. I mean, the back-to-back is, from a scheduling perspective, the hardest thing that, a team can deal with on a consistent basis throughout the course of the regular season. And Denver has handled those back-to-backs very, very well throughout the course of this year. So you like to see that. But let's get on into it here tonight, folks. Like I said, the ending of this game, a bit, kind of scary. You're sitting there. You had a double-digit lead. What was it? A 17-point lead, I believe, after the first quarter. And, what has been the trend with this Denver Nuggets team over the course of this road trip? Sloppy defense. Their shooting was abysmal tonight, in particular from three-point land. I mean, let's take a look at it here. Denver shot under 20% tonight from 3. They were 7 for 37 from 3. Only 7 made 3-point shots here tonight. They shot below 50% as well from the field, 46.6%, 41 for 88 there. So Denver, not their best performance offensively. Maybe they should have saved some points from last night for tonight, but it does not matter as they managed to get the job done here tonight, 107-104. Over the Charlotte Hornets. So one thing that did, I think, kind of save Denver in this game was their efficiency from the free throw line. 18 of 20, that's good for 90%. So they did a good job of taking advantage of those free throws, which I think, I don't want to say completely balances out the lack of 3-point shooting that we saw from them tonight, but it certainly helps kind of weather that storm that we saw from them this evening. So, a lot to talk about here tonight. Nikola Jokic, as I mentioned, another triple-double. The triple-double came before the start of the fourth quarter. He finishes tonight with 28 points, 13 rebounds, 17 assists. So Nikola Jokic doing his thing as always. Jamal Murray puts up 20 points despite struggling from three-point land. He was 1 of 6 from 3 tonight was Jamal, but does finish with 20, 8 of 16 from the field, 3 of 3 from the charity stripe, adds 5 assists in the mix as well. And Christian Brown, back in the starting lineup. As I mentioned, he gets 24 points tonight for the Denver Nuggets in his return to the starting lineup. 2 of 5 from 3, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, 11 rebounds, a couple of assists as well, +9 in the box, plus minus. You love to see that. Aaron Gordon, pretty quiet night for him, only 6 points, and he looks like he's been doing – I don't know. Aaron Gordon looks a little laborsome out there. Not in regard, he looks like he's moving fine, but it's just not, the game's not coming naturally to him or easily to him, as we've kind of seen in previous games, when he is kind of right. So, he missed a chunk of games there with the calf injury twice now this year that he's been sidelined with that calf injury. But just kind of some, looks like he's still kind of working through some of those kinks, is Aaron Gordon here right now. But they did just enough tonight. And, we'll spend the final portion of the show kind of talking about the road trip as a whole, kind of go game by game, give some more additional thoughts, and then obviously preview the upcoming schedule for the Denver Nuggets. But this is one of those games where you're happy that you get the win, right? I don't think there's really much more that needs to be said, because it was not a great performance tonight for their standards. And once again, I'm, talking with my Nuggets friends on the phone, during the game, going back and forth, and, the trade questions come back up and this and that, and we'll see what Calvin Booth ends up trying to decide to do here with the trade deadline rapidly approaching now. But, good enough. Good enough. That's kind of the way that I would put it tonight for the Denver Nuggets. So Zeke Naji, as I mentioned, he got some extended run, had some decent moments. It's still Zeke Naji at the end of the day. He was a -17 in the box plus minus, a team worst -17. And he puts up 6 points, grabs 3 rebounds. So maybe a little bit of a showcase there, forced the hand of Michael Malone to have to play Zeke a little bit. Try to get, some looks for some other teams. They've got to figure out a way to get off that contract, man. I mean, we cannot go into another season talking about Zeke Naji and what he can't really do anything on a significant basis. I hate to say that with this Denver Nuggets team. He doesn't have a role. It's one of the worst contracts in the NBA right now for sure. And so, we'll see where we go from here, right? But, they do a good job of limiting Charlotte when it matters most. And you look at that final sequence, there are a couple of bad shots from the Charlotte Hornets. And, Charlotte's a young, inexperienced, team that's kind of still trying to come into their own. No LaMelo Ball tonight as well for the Charlotte Hornets. So, if LaMelo's out there and Denver puts forth the effort, specifically from the shooting department, that they did tonight, maybe this game goes the other way. But, Miles Bridges led the way for Charlotte tonight with 24 points. He was 10 of 23 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3. He had 12 rebounds, so a double-double there for Miles Bridges. Mark Williams adds 20 points of his own, a double-double for him as well with 15 rebounds, 3 assists for Mark Williams. But then, Josh Green, only 6 points. Micic, who left the game early after rolling his ankle, no points in the starting lineup for him. Nick Smith Jr. with 19 points. So, Charlotte actually got some decent contributions across the board here tonight from a couple different players. Seth Curry off the bench with 10. Daquan Jeffries with 5 off the bench. And old pal, KJ Simpson. If you're not familiar with KJ Simpson, a Colorado Buffalo, for last year he was there on the tournament team with Cody Williams and Tristan DeSilva and company. A good player for the Colorado Buffaloes, and he got some run tonight with 8 points. So nice to see a little Colorado connection there with KJ. But just a sloppy game across the board from Denver. They started out the game well, jumped out to that 27-20 lead. So I don't know what I was saying. 17-point lead after the first quarter. I don't know what 7-point is what I meant to say. Excuse me. So they outscore them there. Does Denver? They come back, outscore Charlotte in the second quarter, 27-26. And then it's a high-scoring third quarter coming out of the half, 36-35. So Denver won every quarter except the fourth. I mean, I took a picture of this. Hold on, let me pull it up because I wanted to talk about it on the show here tonight. At one point in the fourth quarter, this is about 4 minutes left in the game. Denver in the fourth quarter had 10 points. They were shooting 26% from the field, and they were 0 of 8 from three-point land. Charlotte in that same sequence had 23 points, 53% from the field, and they were 1 of 2 from 3. So the three-point shooting was abysmal tonight for the Denver Nuggets, but they're able to overcome their shortcomings from beyond the arc to get this 107-104 victory. So a win is a win. Denver gets their 30th of the year, and here we are now in the middle of the season. as Denver, Malone kind of hinted at it in his post-game press conference, the bruises and the wear and tear and the mental fatigue, all this type of stuff starts setting in at this point in the year for the Denver Nuggets, and they were able to fight through that adversity tonight here on the second night of a back-to-back to get the job done, 107-104 over the Charlotte Hornets. Okay, let me hit my first break. When we come back, let's talk about Christian Brown. Let's talk a little Michael Porter Jr. as well as he struggled. We got Zeke Naji being interviewed by Scott Hastings right now on the screen. Nice to see him get some extended run here tonight. But if you've got any thoughts, opinions, questions, whatever it might be, go ahead and drop those in the comment section, and we'll have some fun here on your Locked On Nuggets postcast. We'll hit a quick break. We'll come back and do just that right here on your Locked On Nuggets postcast. Back in just a moment, folks. All right, you guys, let me tell you real quick about our friends over at Robinhood. With Robinhood Gold, you can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on retirement contributions. The privileges of the very privileged are no longer exclusive. With Robinhood Gold, your annual IRA contributions are boosted by 3%, plus you also get 4% APY on your cash in your non-retirement accounts. That's over 8 times the national savings average. The perks of a high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive your 3% boost on your annual IRA contribution, sign up at robinhood.com/gold. Investing does involve risk. Rates subject to change. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold at $5 a month for 1 year. From the first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to robinhood.com/boost. Over 8 times the national average saving account interest rate claim is based on data from the FDIC as of November 18th, 2024. Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Robinhood Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC. Be sure to check out our friends over at Robinhood. I like to dabble in the stocks myself, and I'm an active Robinhood user. So check out our friends and sign up today at robinhood.com/gold and let them know that Locked On Nuggets sent you. All right, welcome on back into your Locked On Nuggets postcast right here on your Locked On Sports Denver YouTube channel. Hope everybody is doing well out there on this Saturday night, and you guys can follow me on social media at Media by AP. Oh, hold on, let me also, I forgot to take this down. There we go. You can follow me on social media at Media by AP, and if you're watching live on YouTube, appreciate y'all as always. Do me a favor, make sure to hit that like button, smash that subscribe button as well. That way you guys never ever miss an episode of your Locked On Nuggets postcast right here on your Locked On Sports Denver YouTube channel. But it is a 107-104 victory for the Denver Nuggets as they survive against the Charlotte Hornets here tonight. Let's talk about Christian Brown, because I thought he, obviously Nikola Jokic could be your player of the game pretty much every game for the Denver Nuggets, and Jokic did do Jokic things with his triple-double here tonight. That, of course, coming in the prior to the start of the fourth quarter, so yet another pre-fourth quarter triple-double for Nikola Jokic, 28 points, 13 rebounds, 17 assists for the big fella. But Christian Brown, man, coming back into the starting lineup after, I don't want to call it a demotion because, I mean, I guess in a technical sense, it is a demotion to be removed from the starting lineup. But, the Jokic-Westbrook dynamic has just been so good that you want to try to maximize those minutes. And so Christian Brown kind of handles it with grace, only a couple of games later now, and he's right back in the starting lineup due to some injuries. And he makes the most of his opportunities. Like I said, +9 tonight in the box, ±, 24 points, 11 rebounds tonight for CB, adds a couple of assists, a couple of steals as well. And it's funny because I saw this going around, I think it was yesterday on social media, Kendrick Perkins kind of talking about the Denver Nuggets. And we know, Kendrick Perkins isn't exactly the sharpest tool in the shed when it comes to talking about the Denver Nuggets and their style of basketball and their highs and their lows and Jokic and this and that, right? He said something along the lines that, Denver hasn't been getting the contributions they expected from their young guys. And he name dropped Christian Brown. Hey, Perk, wake up, buddy. Because Christian Brown, of all the young guys that Denver has made the most impact. And Christian Brown was an essential part of this Denver Nuggets championship run a couple of years ago. So, I think Christian Brown, look, has he been perfect? No. Obviously, he had a really rough December, in particular in the shooting department. But you saw him handle being removed from the starting lineup with some grace. And he's a guy that's going to go out there and just do what you need him to do. He's not going to complain. He's not going to, slouch. He's not going to be like Jimmy Butler. And, he can't because he's not a star player like Jimmy Butler. But like, Brown. And, for him to be rewarded with these minutes here tonight, albeit due to injury, the 38 minutes played to put up 24 points. I mean, doing his thing from three, hitting a couple 3-point shots, 9 to 15 from the field, plays a physical style of basketball. I mean, what more could you ask for from Christian Brown as he continues to develop in the NBA? And so, it's one of those things where if Denver's going to, get out of this little funk, it's hard for me to call it a funk because it's a 2-game winning streak that they find themselves on right now. Christian Brown is going to be a huge part. He's going to play a big role in that. And, he's a guy that I've said this time and time again, from the moment that he got, removed from the starting lineup. I know it's only been a couple of games, but his minutes will be akin to that of a starter. I mean, Christian Brown is going to play 20, 25 minutes a game, regardless if he's starting or not. And obviously tonight he's asked to do more with 30 plus minutes, but I don't know, man. I'm okay with Christian Brown. And I'm happy for him to go out there tonight and have a game like he did and kind of put forth the effort in which he did and be rewarded, because he's a guy that, is earned the trust of Michael Malone and has been kind of thrown into the fire this year as a starter, due to losing KCP, due to losing Bruce Brown, some of these other guys over the last couple of off seasons. So, we'll see what happens with Christian Brown here moving forward. But tonight, man, against the Charlotte Hornets team, so it's not like it was against a high quality basketball team. He goes out there and really makes an impact in this game. And Denver does not win this game without Christian Brown. Look, I know that they still had their starters out there with Jokic, Murray, MPJ, and Gordon. MPJ, who we'll talk about here in just a moment, did not have a good game. And his 3-point shooting continues to be bad, which is not okay for MPJ. His rebounding was fine tonight. But Christian Brown, was kind of the glue man tonight that I think really helped push this Denver Nuggets team to victory. So shout out to CB, 38 minutes played, 2 of 5 from 3, 24 points, a couple steals, couple assists, and 11 rebounds, 10 of them coming on the defensive side of the floor tonight for Denver. So shout out CB. Now let's talk a little MPJ. So he led the way tonight, 41 minutes played for Mr. Porter. 0 of 6 from 3. 0 of 6 from 3. That's just not going to cut it for Michael Porter Jr. We all know we come to expect more from Michael Porter Jr. He did have 10 rebounds tonight, which you like, but only 15 points from MPJ. So, look, I've said it time and time again, if you're a regular listener to the postcast, you're going to live with MPJ and you're going to die with MPJ. And he's a very hot and cold player. He's a very, very streaky player. And right now he's going through one of his cold periods. So, we'll see what happens here with Michael Porter Jr. moving forward, but assuming he's on this team past the trade deadline, which I do think will be the case, Denver is not as great as Christian Brown was tonight. You're not going to be able to contend for a championship without Michael Porter Jr. doing his thing. So we'll see if he can try to bounce back here moving forward for Mr. Porter Jr. So keep an eye on that. Come home now. Rough road trip for him. See if he can get right here back at Ball Arena. So that's all she wrote tonight for Denver for the most part. Jokic triple-double. Brown doing his thing. Murray, like I said, 20 points. A little laborsome from 3, only 1 of 6, but he did a good job of distributing there down the stretch. Good defense down the stretch, not just from Murray, but the team as a whole, despite being a little Olay at times throughout the course of this game. So a win is a win. Like I said, 107-104 is your final score here tonight. Okay, let me hit my final break. We'll come back. We'll get ready to put a bow on the show. We'll kind of recap this road trip as a whole and take a look at what's coming up here for the Denver Nuggets. So if you've got any thoughts, comments, questions, whatever it might be, go ahead and drop those in the comment section, and we'll answer those when we come back right here on your Locked On Nuggets postcast. Back in just a moment, folks. All right, you guys, let me tell you about our friends over at Game Time, because are you looking for tickets to the next big event, whether it's a concert, a comedy show, or a sporting game? Finding the right ticket at the right price can be a headache, but with Game Time Picks, it's never been easier. Let me tell you how it works. With Game Time Picks, the app does all the hard work for you. It curates the best deals so you don't have to waste time searching through endless ticket listings. I've been using Game Time Picks for a while now, and here's why I love it. The curated deals make it super simple to find great tickets at a great price. No more sifting through thousands of ticket options. I recently grabbed a super deal for the primetime seats, and I could not believe the value. It was an absolute steal, guys. The seat view feature is an absolute game changer. Before I even hit buy, I can see exactly where my seats are and what it will look like in the venue. It's so reassuring. And the best part, you're covered with Game Time's lowest price guarantee. If you find a better deal somewhere else, they'll refund you 110% of the difference. Plus, your tickets are guaranteed to be delivered on time with easy cancellation options if something comes up. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app today, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off of your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem with code LOCKEDONNBA, LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guarantee. Be sure to check out our friends over at Game Time and let them know that Locked On Nuggets sent you. Okay, welcome on back into your Locked On Nuggets postcast. I'm your host, Aniello Piro. Hope everybody's doing well out there. You guys can follow me on social media at Media by AP. Make sure to hit that like button and smash that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube, and subscribe to that Locked On Sports Denver YouTube channel. That way you guys never, ever miss an episode of your Locked On Nuggets postcast. But okay, recap time here for the road trip. So it was a bit of a up and down road trip. You know, started off bad, finished good. 5 games on the road for Denver. They come back with a losing record, 2-3, but they do a good job of finishing the road trip strong with back-to-back wins. So obviously it started out with that abysmal 133-104 loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves. They fall to the Chicago Bulls 129-121, lose to the Knicks 122-112, and then bounce back against the 76ers last night 137-134, and then of course here tonight 107-104 over the Charlotte Hornets. So some good stuff there at the ending for Denver, and they'll come home now for a couple of interesting games that they should be able to take care of business with. Looking at it here, two games in a row against the New Orleans Pelicans on Monday and Wednesday, and then they'll be at home as well on Thursday for a matchup with the Orlando Magic. So you feel pretty good. Denver's got to win 2 or 3. You'd imagine that they'll be able to win both against New Orleans, and you should have a pretty good chance to take care of business against Orlando. Then they'll go on the road for Phoenix for a game, and then kind of a similar dynamic, 2 home games in a row against Portland, and then a home game against Charlotte. So that's kind of your upcoming schedule for the Denver Nuggets here. Looking forward, but it is what it is. We're kind of in this middle portion of the season where things are, kind of fluid, right? Trade deadline coming up, fatigue, kind of, you're still far enough away from the playoffs that you're not really in playoff mode, but you're far enough into the season, that you're kind of laboring a little bit. So, hopefully Denver with these 2 wins in a row can come back home, make it another 2 in a row against New Orleans, and then, try to put forth a good effort there against Orlando. So it should be a 4-game win streak when it's all said and done, heading into that Orlando Magic matchup, just because New Orleans is no good, especially no DeJounte Murray right now for the Pelicans. So we'll see if Denver can do just that. And the season continues to roll along, folks. Nikola Jokic doing his thing. We'll see what's up with Peyton Watson. We'll see what's up with Russell Westbrook as they try to get healthy and help try to get this Denver Nuggets team back on track, which is hard for me to say because, like I said, they've won back-to-back games, but they haven't done it in convincing fashion, right? 2 sweaty wins for Denver. You want to see them get back out there to try to control kind of the game and the tempo and the momentum, like we've seen them do for the most part since we turned the calendar over to 2025. So, but for tonight, folks, it is a good 107-104 survival victory for Denver over the Charlotte Hornets. Great contributions from Christian Brown, Jamal doing his thing to an extent, Jokic another triple-double before the fourth quarter, and you'll take it. A win is a win. Jokic 28, 17, and 13, and now they'll get a day off tomorrow before they come back with 2 games against the New Orleans Pelicans. But all right, folks, I think that's going to do it for me here tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, appreciate y'all as always. Make sure to hit that like button, smash that subscribe button on your Locked On Sports Denver YouTube channel. That way you guys never, ever miss an episode of the show. Really appreciate all of your support, and we'll see if Denver can get a 3rd win in a row when they come home on Monday to face the New Orleans Pelicans. But all right, folks, enjoy your Saturday night. That's it for me. We'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good one, folks.